Good day, everybody. Today is June the 28th of 2016. This is Gray.
And this is Kay, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Twoonie Bin. So, Gray, what are we going to get started with today?
Well, before we get started, I just want to say that this is our last episode before Canada Day. So it's very important for me to say Happy Canada Day to everybody. Happy birthday. Happy 149th birthday to our great, wonderful nation.
Make sure you send us your videos and your pictures of all your celebrations. Send it to our Twitter page at follow us on Twitter at ToonieBin, or send it to us via Facebook at facebook.com/ToonieBin. We would love to see what you guys are doing for Canada's Day.
TWOONIEBIN is how we spell ToonieBin, if you were unsure. We've got a few stories we're talking about today. We've got, if you've been hoarding your coins, hoping to take it to TD Bank, we have some news for you. It's not good news. We also have some news coming out of London, Ontario about somebody who looked to me a lot like trailer trash, trying to beat somebody up just because of their religious beliefs. We have a story about Ron MacLean and how we're bringing Hockey Night in Canada back to the way it's been loved by many people for many years. We're talking about Justin Trudeau being booed for speaking English in Quebec, of all places.
We will also be talking about Brexit there for a little bit, and the fallouts that have happened shortly after they have left the EU. And then we are also going to be talking about Canada's largest teaching hospital building a sweat lodge.
But just to clarify, they have not left the EU. They have just voted to leave the EU. We are going to start with that. It's been in the news a lot lately, and when I say a lot, I mean too much. I counted today on the Globe and Mail's app, and they were saying in 10 of the 14 top stories that it was all Brexit. It was all Brexit. It annoys the crap out of me now. So we're just going to go with the aftermath, because you guys get the Coles Notes version. You've heard about it over the last week now, because it's been a week. Let's start with after the Brexit. The day after Brexit vote, and the day after they said they were going to separate by a margin of 4 percentage points. Top Google searches after that. This is amazing. Number 1, what does it mean to leave the European Union? Yep, after the vote. Number 2 Google search, what is the European Union? Number 3, which countries are in the European Union? Here's a clue, most of them. Number 4, what will happen now that we've left the European Union? And number 5, how many countries are in the European Union? So, this is concerning. This is questions that should have been asked well before the vote. And now we have, we have an outcome which they don't know what they're going to do.
Talking about top Google searches there as well, I do know that some of the top Google searches were also how to move to Canada, how to move to Australia, how to leave Britain, stuff like that, because as soon as that was voted, a lot of people second-guessed themselves.
Scotland had the answer. They've started their own referendum on sovereignty again for the second time in 2 years. They're talking about it. They've started the process. Another thing that's happening is they've noticed who voted which way. And it turns out the younger you were, the more likely you were vote to stay within the European Union, and the older you got, the more likely you were to leave. According to a YouGov exit poll, 75% of 18-20-year-olds backed the Remain side, whereas 39% of those over 65 voted the same. 61% of over 65-year-old voters supported leaving the EU, while just 25% of the ones under 24 agreed with them. It was broken down into 4 different age groups, and every time you got older, you were more likely to vote for leave, which has led to some issues regarding public safety and some strong opinions from many people. Not just older people voted for leave, but the poor, the uneducated, and the working class were more likely to vote to support the exit. The wealthier, metropolitan, younger, urban, and educated people were the higher of the chances that they were going to stay in the European Union bureaucracy. Now, this is from, I found this on Breitbart.com, and they were saying a lot of different things from a lot of different magazines. Now, from this one, how old people have screwed over the younger generation. That's from The Independent. From the Huffington Post, EU referendum results. Young screwed over by older generations. Vice News says, old people seem intent on fucking us over forever. And Brexit proves baby boomers should get less of a vote. GQ magazine was pretty scathing when they said, we should ban old people from voting. Writing about them as if the older generations are really different species. The reasons given by the author, I should say, were the EU referendum. This is a quotation. The EU referendum will have less effect on older people. Over 65s read the Daily Mail, which is a tabloid. There is no golden age of Britain, and we take prisoners' driver's licenses away. Why not their right to vote? This is, yeah, it's quite something. And there's also some reaction on Twitter too. My Brexit hot take: when will old people die? From at Marketable Skill. And here's an interesting one. Donald Trump tweeted. Of course he tweeted on this one. And his was, just arrived in Scotland. Place is going wild over the vote. They took their country back, just like we will take America back. No games. Except Scotland voted overwhelmingly to stay in the European Union. What's also scary is how it got retweeted 18,000 times and like 46,000 times in addition. Okay, what do you think of all this disastrous mess? What other Donald Trump word can we use for this? Disaster's one of them. He's got a lot of words, but what are yours?
Some ugly toupees.
No, I don't think that's a toupee. That's real hair.
Well, anyways, first of all, I would like to say I'm really happy that Scotland decided that they were going to re-vote to leave Britain. That is a great accomplishment if they do decide this time to vote to leave. I know last time I was disappointed, as well as a bunch of my Scottish friends were disappointed that they decided to stay. They had a great opportunity to finally take back their country after how many years of them being underneath England's control, and then they decided, you know what, we're going to stay here. No, I'm glad that they're putting that up for a vote again. You guys can say all you want about me, but I'm happy for that. Now, I think it's really stupid for them to leave the EU. I understand that they don't want refugees coming in. I understand they don't want immigrants because they are already overpopulated. But how about putting up to the EU like immigration laws saying if you have a population of such and such per landmass, this is how many immigrants you're allowed to have per country or something like that. There was other ways to get around it than just deciding to leave the EU altogether.
And here's another fun fact. One MP, and this is in an interview on Sky News. I'm just going to pull up some more information on here. It was just a couple of days ago, a man by the name of Faisal Islam, he's a journalist with Sky News, says a pro-Brexit MP told him that when he was asked, where's the plan, like the Brexit plan, what is now the plan now that we have voted to leave the European Union? The MP replied, there is no plan. The Leave campaign don't have a post-Brexit plan. According to Islam, the MP pointed towards the Houses of Parliament and said, number 10 should have had a plan. I'm not sure what number 10 means. It doesn't say this in this Huffington Post article, although when they said this on air, the announcers couldn't believe it. I can't believe it reading this. Like, how do you go this far without having a plan? Like, UK is basically fucked. I don't know what else to say about it. All I could say is good luck, and I hope you have another referendum. last time I saw 3.6 million people signed a petition for another referendum. And maybe this time younger people come out and vote a little more because of that 1.2 million vote differential. We'll see what really happens if they do vote again. I can't say for sure, but all I can say is good luck. You guys are really in uncharted waters.
I mean, I know that MP didn't help out much at all either, because he was going on and on about how leaving EU was so you guys don't get any immigrants. They didn't say anything as far as the economy would go or anything like that. So yeah, they should definitely vote again. They should be well educated this time. The government should take responsibility for educating the masses so everybody has a well educated vote.
Another part of this, because this is going to keep going. We could go on with this forever, so that's why I'm kind of limiting it to right now. The Leave campaign said, and they knew they were wrong when they said this, but they misled people. They admitted it, that all the money they give to the European Union right now would instead go to the NHS, which is basically their healthcare system. And then afterwards, they said, oh yeah, it's not going to the healthcare system. It's not getting extra money at all. No, it's not happening. So they're misled into voting for this. They voted for this. Now it's a disaster. Okay, I'm glad I don't live there. I'm also glad we, in 1867, almost 149 years ago to this day, did what we did, because otherwise, oh God.
Well, I would just like to say that even though we are our own country, we are still under British law, so this could still have a fallback to us as well.
I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal when it comes to British law. It's just a precedent that's being set, and it's not really going to have an impact on us if you listen to Justin Trudeau. However, if you listen to TD Bank, they have something else that they would like to say about that. They say that we would actually be deeply impacted, so it's going to be kind of scary to see how it plays out. But again, this is it. This is done. We're going to see what happens, and we're already 12 minutes into our show. It didn't take long, so I'm going to move to our next topic, now that I've said everything I want to say about it. Are you one of these people that likes to hoard coins, and plenty of them? Like, we're talking lots and lots and lots of coins, Kay?
I have at least 50 antique coins.
But I'm talking about, like, regular currency that you just don't give a crap about, that just ends up in a coin dish, or maybe a bigger coin dish eventually.
I'm all card, so
that might be a good idea if you don't want to hoard your coins, because some of us, myself included, have come to rely on the TD Bank coin counter. This item, in many bank branches, allowed you to bring in a quantity of coins and have it direct deposited into your account, whatever it counted. But turns out they haven't been very accurate. There have been reports of it miscalculating in the bank's favor, and now, as a result of a class action lawsuits that have been launched, you cannot use these coin counters anymore. They have been retired. As a result of that class action lawsuit, anybody who used the coin counter before May 25th or 26th, I believe May 26th, they will potentially be in on this. I'm kind of wishing I brought my rolls of coins to the bank first, before this happened, because it could have been lucrative. But I don't know. This is it's 2016. We should have a better system in place by now. Instead, now I have to go and buy a whole bunch of coin rollers. That's going to cost more money than I would have lost in the counter.
Hey, at the Zaire's across the street here, they got a coin counter there. But yeah, you always take a risk if you're not counting it yourself.
The coin counters at, I believe they're from Coinstar. What they'll do generally is they'll take a percentage unless you opt to have it paid out in a gift voucher for another retailer, in which case they pay the commission and you get the product at the same price. That's all I know about it, but I do know that you can no longer use the bank's counters. It's unfortunate. Now, Kate, you have a story you would like to talk about?
Yeah, so in Toronto there, at one of their teaching hospitals, they have decided to build a sweat lodge for their Aboriginal patients.
Well,
so
that's really good.
They have a spiritual means of to go with the modern medicine that they're receiving.
Okay.
Oh, I should rephrase that. It's Canada's largest mental health and addiction teaching hospital. So
Okay.
with that, you do need a lot of spiritual stuff to help pull you through, especially when it comes to addiction there. Anybody that knows the 12 steps, they usually follow God. But with this, it does open it up to Aboriginal and their cultures there as well. So then that way they can get spiritual, physical, and emotional healing. Now, a direct quote from Renee Linklater, Director of Aboriginal Engagement and Outreach, said, having the Sweat Lodge on site at CAMH is going to allow us to offer Indigenous healing ceremonies as part of treatment plans. So then that way our Aboriginal residents of Canada who do have to go to this hospital to receive their mental health or addiction care don't have to give up on their faith either. They don't have to sit there and listen to about God and that. They can actually follow their own faith, which I see is a big push of moving forward, especially with the history that we have with the Aboriginals.
I think that's just excellent. We're taking into consideration many different cultures and have done for quite some time. It's long overdue that we've taken into consideration cultures that originated within our own borders. And I really think this is wonderful. And hopefully a first step, and hopefully we get more. Now, we have some bad news. This is news you've already heard of too. It happened almost a week ago. But we're going to give you some details, and I'm going to beg with you, please release the name of this woman. The woman who attacked a woman who was wearing a hijab in a London grocery store, London, Ontario grocery store. I've seen articles that say that her tooth was chipped. The victim's tooth got chipped in the attack. I have not been able to verify that in any subsequent reports, but yes, the woman grabbed or tried to pull off the headscarf and grabbed the woman's hair before fleeing the area. The victim was able to get some pictures, and I gotta say, she really did look like trailer trash. Did you get that from those photos, Kay?
I most definitely did, but I think this is absolutely horrible. I mean, a lot of the refugees that are coming to us right now are coming from war-stricken countries. They don't have a place to live because it's been blown up. Like, it's sad that those people got to leave a place like that where they literally live in dust to come to our country because they're seeking retribution, they're seeking a better life. And we have people here that treat them like garbage. It is utterly disgusting, and I hope she gets caught.
Oh, she was caught. Don't you worry about that. They just aren't releasing her name for her own safety. Now, they're saying that this is something I didn't know until I actually did the digging because I didn't see it widely reported, but the lady spoke in a heavy accent and she didn't speak English. It was a different language. They can't quite figure it out. They can't understand it. So what they're saying is, I don't know how they're planning on figuring out the language, but I'm sure that they've got linguists on that. But I would like to say that there's a good chance that the woman in the hijab has lived here way longer than anybody thinks. Maybe she was born here. We don't know. But I do know that the woman who was doing the yelling, screaming was wearing the Canada shirt. She should not be allowed to own that shirt. She should not be allowed to live here if she's going to do that. I think she should be kicked out of the country. Even if she's a citizen, she should be forced to live in one of these war-torn countries for a little bit. I'm sure that a little conscription wouldn't be a bad idea for our armed forces.
I totally agree with you there, Gray.
And it's like, there's going to be people saying, you can't conscript people. Oh, yes, you can. You can conscript people to join the army. Let's see what they see what they think about it after the fact.
See, with us, it is on a voluntary basis, though.
Absolutely.
I know in the States, at the age of 18, you must sign up to be part of their drafting.
I don't think you can. Not anymore. It's been that way in the past. But I know.
No, it is now because
I know
they
far
just
too many people who
released.
weren't in the military.
No, you have to sign up to be drafted. So if they need a draft, then they can pick you to be drafted.
Okay, yeah, that. Okay, they don't
They
just
just
draft.
they just opened that up to women. That's how I know that's what they do.
Okay, because I was a little confused on that. I thought they were just going to draft everybody.
No.
They don't draft everybody. You're thinking of Germany on that. Germany and Israel, they all do it. But yes, I really think that woman needed to be. We need to make an example of that. We do, and anybody who disagrees with me can disagree with me. But this is just my opinion. We should really, really make that a serious thing because that's not tolerated. So we've got a few more stories, 2 more to be exact. Speaking of people getting attacked, well, this isn't really a physical assault as much as it is a verbal one. But Justin Trudeau, our very beloved Prime Minister, he was in Quebec City on Friday on the province's Fête Nationale, formerly known as Saint Jean-Baptiste Day. And when he was asked about the Brexit scenario, of course, he started speaking in English. And it didn't take long for him to get booed for that. It didn't take long. And about 11 seconds after he began speaking in English, that's when it started. Quebec Premier Philippe Couillard called it a shame that the current Prime Minister was booed. He says, and I quote, "We could have greeted his message in a more positive manner. While it is the Fête Nationale of all Quebecers, and one expects the speeches to be in French, he wanted to issue a statement to all Canadians about Brexit, and I think we have to remind people that one must be open and tolerant." Now this comes 48 years after Justin's father, Mr. Pierre Elliott Trudeau, was involved in another politically charged incident, I should say. He was at a Saint Jean-Baptiste parade, and he was the target of sovereigntists a day before the election that would see him become elected Prime Minister for the first time. People tossed bottles in his direction. It became violent between police and protesters, and it's kind of amazing because while people tried to drag Mr. Trudeau's safety 48 years ago, he stood his ground. He refused to leave the stage. So I think this is, while they've come a long way, they're not violent about things like they used to be. It's been a very long time since that's happened. There's clearly no fear in the Trudeau family.
No, and I think that is a lot of bravery for the Prime Minister to be able to stand their ground and not back down. I respect Justin Trudeau even more for not giving in to their demands. I mean, there will be bad criticism no matter where you go, no matter what you do, especially as the Prime Minister. So, I mean, standing your ground is a big thing to do, and I'm glad that he was able to do that.
He only did that for a few seconds, then he went back to speaking French. It's
that's okay though.
You can't win in some areas of the country, but there are people who can win sometimes. And one of the big winners this week in Canada was Ron MacLean. He is one of the celebrities on Hockey Night in Canada. He used to host Hockey Night in Canada on Saturday nights. 2 years ago, he was replaced with George Stroumboulopoulos when the CBC lost the rights and Rogers won the broadcasting rights. They wanted a fresher face, but this fresher face didn't quite resonate with the viewers, so he has left to explore new creative opportunities, according to a Sportsnet release. And in addition to hosting the Sunday Night Hometown Hockey and his Coach's Corner with Doug Cherry, Ron MacLean will be back on Hockey Night in Canada. And this is great news for Canadian hockey fans.
This is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful news. I am so excited. I mean, I stopped watching Hockey Night in Canada when they changed him, but now that he's back, I'm going to be watching it more so now than ever. And I am so excited. I'm a huge hockey fan, so I mean, this is big news.
Can't wait to hear what our winter sportscasts are going to sound like then. Let's hear your recaps. I'm really looking forward to that. Now, this is big, but it's only part of the story. We're going to see how everything goes in the fall. Rogers did that for ratings reasons. Let's hope that the ratings do go up. I'm looking forward to it myself. Okay, that's it. I don't have any other stories. But we would like to introduce you to somebody new. Now that we have a little bit of time, we're going to take a quick moment and introduce you to Kay's little girl. Alice, would you like to say hello? She's not saying hello. You want to say hello? You want to bite on a cookie for us or a chip?
You want to say hi?
You want to bite the chip?
Say hi.
You tap the microphone?
No, she knows she's not supposed to touch her.
Okay.
So everybody, make sure you catch us for Historical Thursdays every Thursday. This week we are going to be doing New Brunswick. And make sure you follow us on Twitter at TWOONIE and then follow us on Facebook there as well. Give us a like at facebook.com/TWOONIEBIN.
Once again, I want to wish everybody a happy Canada Day coming up on Friday. Whatever you do, whether it be a barbecue or fireworks by the lake, or just taking the day to enjoy it, or going to Ottawa and taking in the celebrations there, or wherever you happen to be, please stay safe. Don't drink and drive. And if you are going to drink a Canadian beer. There's plenty of them out there, and this is a great time to explore a new part of your country in beer form. That's it. Have a great week, everybody.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next week. Stay tuned, my friends.